answer your burning question. I know it's been a long time coming, but here we are. We finally got around to it. The Q&A. I figured it was about time that we get to know each other a little bit better on here. I feel like we haven't really gotten the chance to like sit down and chat and for you guys to learn who the heck I am. I'm about to tell you. Cozy in bed with the dogs. I have all of your guys' questions here. Some were a little bit repetitive. I have a lot about swimming, obviously, and wellness, which makes sense. I'll try to group them as well as I can, but I think I'm gonna put each individual question like in a chapter. So if you want to skip around or you're not that interested in one, you can just go on to the next. I say we just kick this bad boy off. First question. Are you originally from California? Yes, I am. Specifically Southern California, because you know, if you were raised here, Northern California and Southern California are not the same. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and I was like, I want to leave California so bad, and I did. But I realized it really was a cool place to grow up. Do you have any siblings? I do. A lot of people usually don't know this about me because they are so much older. Everybody's always like, Julia, you have so much family lore because it's like so hard to keep track of. Brian's my brother. He is 9 years older than me, and he is my half brother on my mom's side. My sister, Rachel, she is 11 years older than me, and she is my half sister on my dad's side. We like honestly never looked at it as like half siblings or whatever. Both of my parents had prior marriages, had them, got divorced, got together, and had me. Oh, this is a loaded question. Where did you go to high school? I feel like maybe I could have put this in the swimming section, but whatever. I went to Valencia High School my freshman to junior year. My swim coach got a job as the head sprint coach at Indiana University. So I decided to follow him. Looking back on it now is like insane to think about. Left my dad, left my family and my best friend to move to Indiana. I had never even been there and decided to go there for my senior year of high school so that I could keep training near my coach. I went from like a big city girl going to high school to like a small town in Indiana going to high school. So long story short, I went to 2 high schools. You're gonna start to see a theme with my schools. What are your other interests outside of being an athlete? This was like kind of hard for me to figure out. Swimming had literally been my life from like age 7 to like 22, so I literally didn't know anything else. And I also realized I always had other interests, I just never really focused on them. Wellness and nutrition, shopping and like fashion, skincare, honestly arts and crafts I love. I studied interior design for a while. That's definitely something I'm working towards in the future, is like designing and renovating homes, photography, documenting my life, YouTube. Oh, and traveling. I want to travel so much. I have a lot of trips coming up in the future that I'm super excited for, and you guys will get to come along for them, which is even better. I'm just gonna jump right into the swimming questions because my whole childhood and upbringing was all centered around my swim career. I think that'll kind of like give context into the rest of my answers. How old were you when you started swimming? I started swimming when I was 7 years old. Baby little Julia at the pool. I just wish I could give her a little hug. Funny story, I actually had no interest in swimming, so my dad was a professional tennis player. I did tennis camp and I hated it because it was in the summer and it was like 110 degrees and I was like, absolutely not, this is awful. Did gymnastics, way too tall for that. I was doing tennis camp, and for lunch, they let us go play in the pool for 30 minutes, and a coach literally saw me and went up to my dad and was like, your daughter needs to swim. And he was like, what? Like, no, she doesn't even know how to swim. And he was like, no, like, she needs to swim. I had some friends that did it at the time, so I was like, you know what, like, sure. God, 20 years later now, holy shit. Favorite swimming event? 50 free. I feel like it's fairly obvious if you know me from swimming. Everything has to be on point. There's so much pressure. Like, if you fuck one thing up, you're done. And I love it. Do you have a favorite swimming memory? I actually have two. The first one being when I was 16 years old and I qualified for my very first Olympic trials. Honestly, I haven't relived these memories a lot because I pushed them out of my mind for so long. Could like recite everything about that day to you. We were in Mesa, Arizona. I had actually broken my foot the week prior. These two like bones. I have fuzzy socks on right now, but I still have like the scar because it never fully healed. I dropped a barbell on my foot. I was like, oh my God, I'm not telling my coach because he won't let me swim. I couldn't even put a fin on because my foot was so swollen and purple. So I just did everything I possibly could to get like the swelling down and the pain to be manageable by the time we got to this meet. And my coach looks at me and he was like, you have to go a 26.0. I love when the pressure's on. I was racing next to an Olympian. Keep in mind, I was 16 at the time. I see that I am right there with this Olympian and I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is not happening. So I touch the wall and one of my guy friends on the team runs over. He's like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. I didn't even know what happened at first. And like I saw, my coach was very intense to say the least. That was one of the 2 times he ever told me good job. My second memory would be my freshman year of college at Indiana when we won the Big Ten championship. ESPN, all of them predicted Michigan to beat us throughout the entire year. We knew like we could do it. Like we were on some shit. The Ariana Grande song, like 7 Rings, came out that year. If we won, that would have been our 7th ring. This has to happen. I actually have it. I brought her out of hiding for you guys. She wasn't really out of hiding. She was just like on my shelf over there. Usually when the girls like win a conference championship, they give them like female rings, which are like smaller. How fucked up is that? Absolutely not. You are getting us the male version of the ring. So we ended up with these massive rings and I could not love it more. I love her. I will never not love her to death. One of the last times in my swimming career that I remember being like truly happy. And then let me show you the close-ups because it's like really cool. IU with the diamonds all around. On the side it says swim and dive all in 2019. That was like our little team phrase for that year. And then it says Wolf 7 in Roman numerals because it was our 7th ring. I never put this thing on. This is so fun. Okay, final question about swimming is, are you swimming again? I have been swimming again, which if you know me is a huge step. I mean, I couldn't even look at a pool 6 months ago without having a literal panic attack. It really is so liberating to be able to go back to the pool and be proud and show my younger self that it is okay to do things your way. It is okay to fail and come back and just do things for you. And that's like a good segue into the wellness questions because they kind of like go hand in hand, and that's how I got into wellness. How are your workouts different now versus college? In college, I was a D1 athlete, so we did some crazy shit like boxing. I did some like crazy medicine ball stuff, weights 3 times a week. We did dry land. We did practice 6 days a week. And I knew like roughly what type of workout we were going to be doing every single day. So I would honestly say the structure was very different. After I stopped swimming, I went through a super depressive and like anxious time in my life and I did nothing. I did not work out. I gained weight. It's like a literal rotting couch potato. In the past year, I've gotten so much back onto like my wellness journey. I tried Pilates for a little bit. I do like it. It gets a little boring for me sometimes. I still love going to the gym. I like Olympic lifting. I hate running. If I'm doing some sort of cardio, I will now thankfully go back into the pool. If you catch me running, it's not me. This person asked, I know you've talked a little about your mental health. Would you be willing to share more? With the cutest little heart. I am 100% willing to share more. Every single person struggles with mental health at some point in their life. I am a huge advocate for talking about mental health because I think even finding just one person that has experienced something similar to what you have gone through, make them realize that they are less alone. I went through a lot of trauma with swimming. A long time, like, it felt like I would never get through it, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And the important thing is, like, you need to give yourself time to heal, but you also need to understand that it's not just gonna happen. Like, you need to put in the work, and it is hard. You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, and you're gonna have worse days. And that's just how it is. Specifically, I struggle from depression, anxiety, and panic disorder. My biggest thing was struggling with panic attacks. Sometimes I would see a pool, I would smell chlorine, I would hear someone talk about swimming. My friends would ask me to go to the pool with them. I would literally, like, my heart would start beating out of my chest. I would feel like I couldn't breathe, like, and anyone that struggled with panic attacks and panic disorder, I'm so sorry. It is the worst fucking feeling in the entire world. You truly cannot understand it unless you've been through it. Trying not to go off on too much of a tangent, which I already am, because I could make an entire video talking about my mental health. These, like, voodoo tricks to heal it, and science tricks to heal it, and therapy and medications, and just my overall experience. I would say what I deal with now mostly is random panic attacks. I mean, I'm sure they're not random. And a lot of people don't talk about it because they feel embarrassed or like they won't be understood, and I fully understand that. I felt that way before. I was actually in college. I was made fun of and called a horrible person because I told them that I had to deal with myself first because I had to deal with my panic and depression. If you want me to talk more on it, please just comment it below and either message privately. You can message me on Instagram. I will reply to all of your DMs. Slight lighting change. I'm so sorry. I hope it doesn't bother you guys. But my other light died, and this is what we have. Why did you go to 3 different schools in college? In a one-word answer, swimming. So I followed my coach from high school. He got the associate head coaching job at IU. Then it was literally finals week, and I had just signed a lease for the summer. And my coach calls me in and he's like, I'm going to Alabama. And I was like, what do you mean? Honestly, like, really excited to leave, but at the same time it's sad because, like, especially when you're on a team, like you picture yourself with these girls and guys that you're, like, training with and devoting your life to the sport for the next 4 years. And, like, we just had this amazing, incredible moment, like, winning Big Tens. And if you know anything about sports or you were an athlete, you know the transfer portal is just, like, an absolute shit show. Even though I already knew where I was going, like, tons of schools just, like, flooded, and they're calling and they're like, where are you going? Will you come to a trip? Will you do that? Blah, 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 blah. It can be super overwhelming. Too late to sign up for summer classes at Alabama. I ended up going back home for the summer to LA. August of 2019, I moved to Alabama, and I loved it there. I will say. Football's, like, obviously its whole thing, and the school shuts down for, like, the whole weekend, or the whole town shuts down for, like, the whole weekend. This team was, like, much more cohesive. Obviously, any team you go to is gonna have, like, a little bit of a clique, and you're not gonna be, like, everybody's best friend. You're gonna have, like, your people, but as a whole, we definitely hung out and did, like, way more team stuff, and it was a lot more genuine, for sure. It kind of progressively got worse and worse, my relationship with this coach, and I simply just broke down. Like, I couldn't take it anymore. I tried a lot of routes to stay at the school because, again, I liked it here. Like, I had really close friends here, some of my best friends that I still talk to this day. I could do a whole video on my swimming situation and the toll it took on my mental health and all the shit that goes down as an NCAA D1 athlete. I went into his office, I started bawling, like, to the point where I was, like, hyperventilating. Like, I was like, the first thing he says to me after I had followed him all of these places, all these things, he goes, so, like, do you want to transfer? It takes a lot for me to even ask or complain about something. I internalize everything, and I'm such a pusher. Like, I will just push through anything, even if I hate it to my core. Like, I will do it, especially for swimming. For me to finally come to you and just try to have a conversation, which you should have with a coach, especially if you are at an elite level of doing any sport, you need to have that line of communication with them. For me to have shown him the loyalty and respect for years and years and years, this is now the 3rd state that I had trained with him in. I'm only 20 years old. He just said, do you want to transfer? That was the first thing he said to me. And I was just like in shock. I was like, no, but after hearing that, now I have to. I then entered the transfer portal again. Honestly, at that point, I was so done. Like I had nothing else to give. I always knew I wanted to move to Miami after school. So I'm just gonna go to Miami because I think subconsciously I knew that I was probably done swimming and I would be happy living there no matter what. That's what I did. That is how I ended up at 3 different schools. Starbucks order. I actually have her right here. I will get a pink drink, light ice, extra coconut milk, and then if I'm feeling frisky, I will add whipped cream on top. But the extra coconut milk is chef's kiss. LA or Miami? This is such a tough question for me. I grew up in LA, and again, like I said, I started to appreciate it more when I left. And growing up, I always knew I wanted to leave California, and I always wanted to live in Miami. My heart is always gonna say Miami. I love the culture, I love the food, I love the city. It is such a unique place to live. Like, you meet people from all different walks of life, which you can also get in LA. It's just a different lifestyle. Like, to have a city built on an ocean is just so cool. Just the weather, the warmth, like year round. I just love the tropical feeling. Like, it makes you feel alive. This is like so dramatic, but like, I will die on the hill of Miami. But I love LA for different reasons. How tall are you? You seem tall, LOL. This is so funny. I like get this DM randomly on my Instagram. Like, you seem tall, LOL, or like, how tall are you? I am 5'9", to answer your burning question. Yes, I am on the taller side. What made you want to start YouTube? I'm gonna kind of just try to summarize it because I've kind of already talked about it. I've been through so much with my experience as an athlete. I wanted to share everything I've learned with mental health and wellness and eating healthy and feeling good about yourself. Just kind of going through life together. I've always had a love for photography and just documenting my life. I'm like a very emotional person on the inside. I might not always show it. To me, that's what life is all about. Like, it's all about memories and the moments that you make with the people that surround you. YouTube's such a cool platform to do that on because you can connect with so many people you would never have otherwise. Do you follow any specific diets / what do you eat in a day? No gluten, no high fats, because your gallbladder is what helps your body like digest fats. And then I also eat a super clean diet. Whole fresh foods. I tend to try and eat dairy-free. I opt for almond milk over oat milk just because it's healthier. I will eat or drink some dairy, but it has to be lactose-free and grass-fed. And again, life is all about balance. Like, I'll go get some pizza, I'll go get some In-N-Out every now and then. Like, a girl's gotta live. Favorite workout brands? I love this question. First and foremost, Lululemon. I feel like that's just a staple in any girl's closet. OG would be like Nike. Cute matching sets. I love Set Active. They've actually become like one of my competitors with Lulu. Some of their stuff is so soft and it just fits so well. And then for like athleisure, loungewear, I would say Aloe. Negative Underwear has some good lounge stuff. Abercrombie, I love their lounge. And probably Lisette. Ooh, this is a fun one. Favorite movies? My dad's a screenwriter, so I grew up watching like a ton of movies. Maybe like 16 Candles I love. Super 8 is another movie I love. Titanic, I mean, young Leonardo, you have to be kidding. I would have to say my favorite movie of all time is La La Land. Can you tell us how you and Ryan met? Yes! There's just like a little tea. When I went to Alabama, I started there my sophomore year of college. Ryan had already been there. He started swimming there his freshman year. Literally like the first day I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, like he's cute. But like he had a girlfriend and I was new and I was just like so not in this. I ended up meeting this other guy who would become my boyfriend at the time. Ended up dating my whole time at Alabama and even up until a little bit of me moving to Miami. Him and Ryan were actually good friends. Ryan and I had basically just become like best friends. So we were like, oh, both of our roommate situations aren't working out. Let's move in together. I don't know why I'm like signing these leases and then I just freaking decide to move to a new state, but that's beyond the point. I don't have to. I'm like, I'm going to Miami. I'm like, you want to come? Like joking around. He goes, I mean, yeah. Long story short, that's how we met. We were friends for years before we started dating. What kinds of dogs do you have? They're so cute. I'm a little biased. I also think they are very cute. They were in here. Oh, this would have been the perfect time to answer with them in here. Whatever. Chief is Border Collie, German Shepherd mix, and Rain is Greyhound and Yellow Lab mix. Which school was your favorite? I'm looking at school soon. Soon, that's so exciting. Take your time, really think about it, and guess what? If it doesn't work out, you can always transfer. It's a hard question because I have like great memories at all of them and I feel super lucky to have like 3 totally different experiences. Like my favorite location to live in was UM, like University of Miami. But I would say my favorite school to attend was probably Alabama. It's like the true college experience. You go to football games, the whole town shuts down on the weekend. It's a small town. The campus is beautiful. It's big. At Indiana, it was like a lot more house parties and stuff. Not that I'm like making myself seem like a partier. I was literally a grandmother. Like I would drive friends to parties and be like, okay, bye. Call me when you want me to pick you up. Like I think I went out like on Halloween probably. And then after like SECs or Big Tens or something or NCAAs, I think Alabama had the best like well-rounded college experience. Dream vacation spot. Anywhere tropical. Like quite literally. If I was gonna pick somewhere to go next, it would probably be like Bali, like a wellness retreat or something, or Greece. I've been wanting to go to Greece so bad. Italy, and I went to Costa Rica, and Costa Rica was like by far more my favorite. And all of my favorite places in Italy were the ones by the water, like Venice and Amalfi. I would love to go back to Italy in the summer though, because I went when it wasn't as warm. Coolest thing you've done in the past year? Go to the Eras tour. Call me basic, I literally couldn't give 2 shits. That was the coolest thing I've ever been to. I think she's amazing. And not to mention her music is literally magical. One more. I love this question. This is a good one to end with. Who's your hero? Now, I would say my dad. I mean, he like sacrificed everything for my swimming and for me to have the best, easiest, most like wonderful childhood I could possibly have. He showed me the exact same amount of respect that I showed him, and he supported me in every single choice that I made. It was never just, I'm the parent, you're the child. He taught me so many lessons without teaching, if that makes any sense. He just works so hard and he loves life so much, and he looks at everything with a positive outcome no matter what. Fully aware no one is perfect, but I think he is probably one of the closest to come to it. Well, it is now like basically nighttime, so I need to make some dinner. I hope you guys were able to learn a little bit more about me, or comment if you could like relate to any of these things, or maybe you found out something you were like surprised about. Let me know if you would also be interested in more like sit down and chat videos about whether it's like nutrition, my workouts, or mental health chats, because I'm down for it all. I have some fun videos coming up and some super exciting trips that I cannot wait to take you guys on. Thank you guys for watching. I love you so, so much, and I will see you guys next time.